Hey, what's up everyone? Special Game 75 here. Today, we're playing My Doctor is a Futanari. I don't know why this series is not dead, but hey, there is something. Alright, let's get started. Alright, enter my name like the usual, Metro Game 75. You already know. Your adventure starts here. Yeah. The waiting room was actually quite nice. It sure is a nice waiting room. I mean, I've been to like doctor's appointments all the time, but yeah. Lots of fancy furniture, high-tech setup at the front desk, and even an attractive receptionist to boot. Hadn't been to a doctor in a long time, only because usually I was pretty healthy. Since my time at a university, I've been studying a lot and not taking 100% care of my health, and spending hours every day in front of the screen was giving me headaches, which was normal, but the headaches were coming from on more frequently than I was happy about. Could have been due to a pressure from exams or the fact I was sitting around a lot more from online school, but it was much better to get someone to take a look at me. Dr. Reed was the closest doctor that had a decent rating online. Plus, I managed to find a picture of her, and she was relatively attractive. If somebody was going to examine me, I wanted to be a woman that I wanted to look at, not some older geyser. And a younger doctor was much more likely to know what they were doing and give me what I needed, as opposed to someone who would tell me I was fine to go home. At the very least, maybe write me a prescription for the least. If she managed to figure out what was wrong with my head, then it would be worth it. I was slightly worried that there were like something more serious going on than I suspected. It's gotta be pretty sus though. But hopefully Dr. Reed will be able to figure it out. When the receptionist told me that I could go in, I walked through the doors leading into the back and entered the examination room, and she told me to head into. Oh boy. Dr. Reed was already waiting inside. And when she stepped over, I was surprised at how tall she was. Almost intimidating. What the? This looks very familiar. At least 9 inches taller than I was. With the heels she wore, it was more like a foot. She reminded me of someone, like from who? From what show? To be honest, she absolutely towered over me.
I'm
Hello,
Dr. Reed.
hello there. Even her hand felt like it was crushing mine with her size and strength. My God, it was even more intimidating that she was wearing a tight black pencil skirt and a white blouse that did nothing to hide the fact that she had a massive set of breasts. And as much as I seen her pictures and thought she was attractive in person, she was stunning. Her eyes pierced into me hard. It made me nervous being so close to such a sexy woman who was examining me.
Have a seat on the table. Let's talk about what brought you
She waved at the examination table. I gleefully hop I gleefully hopped onto it in anticipation of all the personal attention I was about to receive. Even sitting on the table, she was taller than I was. I explained to her what had been happening lately. Often the headaches weren't anything I could handle with an aspirin. Ugh, these headaches are so painful. Not even aspirin can help. But often they brought on sensitivity to light and other problems, even making me nauseous. She listened attentively in her chair, but when she crossed her legs, I couldn't help but drop my eyes on to her long legs. The tight skirt rolled up, but just enough to give me a glimpse of her upper thighs.
here. Okay, well, let's do a simple exam. Why don't you lie down? Take your shirt off first, please.
Oh, sure, why not? Oh, what the? Oh, crap. I was going to have to lie down, and while I'm trying hard not to let my body respond to her, my coat was definitely hard. And the pants I was wearing weren't going to hide anything. There would be a tent. I was desperate to avoid any embarrassment. Do we really need to do that for something like headaches? When I questioned her request, her face darkened right away. She moved towards me, and I felt intimidated.
Let me ask you something. Are you a doctor? Did you go to medical school?
Her expression was stern. I had to shake my head.
You should probably stay in your lane and listen to me. Now lie down and take off your shirt.
I knew better than to question what she was saying. Even though she was a doctor and a woman, she definitely outweighed me by a lot of... And although it was really sexy, I wasn't about to mess around with her at all. Suddenly, I was apprehensive that I was alone in the office with her. Stripping off my shirt, I laid down on the examination table. It was cold under my back and made me break out in goosebumps. Of course, my pants were tinted. Dr. Reed looked down and smirked before getting closer to me on the table. It was impossible not to stare at her breasts as much as they were straining at her blouse. She asked me to sit up as she used her stethoscope on my chest and back. Suddenly shivers down my spine as she moved it around slowly, almost seductively. The blood pressure cuff checked me out and it registered normal. I knew I was healthy, but it was incredibly nerve-wracking, wondering what she might find. She moved up to my neck and checked my glands as well.
Evidence everywhere. I don't see anything that is a cause for concern.
Well, that's good, right? She frowned.
Could be a simple vitamin C deficiency. I'll write you a prescription for that for sure.
Ah, yes. Her hands ran down my bare chest. As much as it was an exam, they were probing a little lower than I expected, drifting just north of my erection. I thought for a second she might touch it and my body tensed.
But you need to check something else. Get up and take your pants and underwear off.
Wait, what? My body stiffened. As much as part of me was already stiff, I didn't want it to be exposed for the sexy doctor to see out in the open. Is that really necessary? She frowned again.
Of course it is. I need to examine all of you. Take off your clothes and bend over with your hands on the table.
That was unexpected, and I had no idea what she might want to do. Also, because of my rock-hard erection, I didn't want to expose myself unless I had to. Isn't that the usual procedure for a prostate exam? Is that just for older men? I'm all here for my headaches. She looked at me with a grim expression, not quite a frown, but definite disapproval. Oof.
Do you always question the experts? I'm just going to do a simple prostate exam. You never know what could be affecting your hormones.
My hormones? What? She looked down.
Take off your pants and underwear.
Oh no. The tone wasn't a request. It was definitely a command, and hearing the lit of it coming from her mouth and made my cock perking up again. Do I really need to take off my pants and underwear off? Can I just pull them down enough for you to examine me? She quickly laughed.
Don't worry. I've noticed you're hard, and it's nothing I haven't seen before.
Huh?
Especially since I can definitely tell you're not exactly well endowed. You're definitely not poking any eyes out with that thing.
Her leather cut through me like a knife. The humiliation of a female doctor? And a hot one at telling me my cock was small, suddenly shame through me. Unfortunately, somehow that did nothing to help my erection. In fact, it seemed to make it worse. Because I wanted to show her that I wasn't small. My cock was average according to everything I'd read online.
Hurry up.
She's alright. Sheesh. I slid off the table and unzipped my pants, quickly skimming them down along with my underwear. She glanced down and smirked as I stood there with my erection bobbing in front of me. The smirk on her face never left as she motioned for me to turn around. Isn't there normally a lubricant or something? And gloves?
Jesus fucking Christ.
Bro, she...
I tell you how to do your job, or do you even have one? Turn around and bend over.
Oh no! Oh no! My cock was as hard as rock, and turning around, I could feel it pressing up against the cold plastic of the table, which did nothing to help my situation. In fact, if I ground myself against the table, I probably could have gotten off just from thinking about my sexy doctor dominating me like she was. She put her finger into her mouth and sucked it on as she pulled it out, lubing it up with her sticky saliva. Her hand grabbed one of my ass cheeks and squeezed it firmly. Oh no. I think slid between my ass cheeks and then she placed it gently against my asshole. My body tense, of course, and I could feel her step closer as her skirt gazed against the back of my leg. In a soft and soothing voice, she almost whispered to me.
Just relax. Take a deep breath.
A deep breath. I realized as you requested, and when I exhaled, suddenly her finger pushed inside my ass. She removed her finger from my ass and stepped back, the lack of penetration bringing it a bit of relief.
I have a great way to get rid of all of this stress. And make sure you aren't even thinking about your head anymore.
Oh boy. She was going to have sex with me. My dick was ringing as hard as it went to turn around, but as soon as I moved, she shoved me back against the table. All I could do was watch over my shoulders. She started to unbutton her blouse slowly and seductively, and her blouse met the floor. Her sexy pink bra soon followed, setting a free pair of very large and voluptuous breasts. Her nips were so large, just as big as the bra that was covering them. Slowly and suggestively, her hands moved lower. She unzipped her skirt, and then my breath went short, having nothing to do with my headaches. Her panties were like any other woman's, but inside them was a massive long dick. Oh no! It was wrapped against her hips and belly, but it was long, very girthy. And I haven't seen one like it in porn. This next one had a massive cock. What the hell? I see women who had gigantic dicks in hentai, but never thought I actually meet one in person. Now that's scary. And there she was, in fully glowed with sexy woman's body, giant breasts, and a big hard cock. When she skimmed down her panties, the cock sprung out and extended towards me. Whew, well, at least that's done.
I think that all you need is a prescription.
Yeah.
You can put your clothes back on.
Oh, jeez, what? That is something wild. As I felt my body shaking and my ass sore, I moved to dress myself. The lady went over to her desk and got out her prescription pad. With trembling fingers, I managed to get my clothes back on, but every movement brought a bit of pain through my hips. She stretched my body in ways I had never experienced before. Dr. Reed, is there anything I could do about, well, you know? She turned towards me and chuckled for a bit before putting on a serious face again.
I have something for that too. When you go to the pharmacy, buy a donut cushion.
Huh?
It should help with your problem.
She had to be a small piece of paper.
This is for the headaches, and we need a follow-up. Talk to the receptionist. I'd like to see you again in a week.
Oh no! Her tone of the voice made me realize that it wasn't a request, it was a command. And just thinking about that, about what might happen during our next appointment, had my cock again beginning to stiffen. Perhaps there was a way I could train my ass in order to enjoy things more next time.
Okay, that's it for today. Take care.
Alright, I'm okay, bye. Putting my piece of paper in my pocket, I turned left and heading out to the receptionist area. Oh god. I could hide the mild lip I had, and wondered if the girl sitting out had a front idea had any idea what had just happened back there. But she was all smiles as she booked me in for my follow-up. The other people in the waiting room had no idea that I had just been fucked hard in the ass. Come over myself, the doctor was walking funny. All I had to do was make sure that next time the doctor didn't have to work so hard to treat my problems. And maybe there were more treatments that she was willing to show me. Either way, I was looking forward to my next visit already. The end. Oh my god, that was one hell of a thing. Whew, well, yeah. Alright, so everyone, this is the end of today's video. So thank you very much for watching this video. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one.